Welcome back. We're still talking about the standoff at the judiciary, between the judiciary and the executive on the appointment of 6 judges. We are doing the final touches here during the break, and we have agreed that we'll use the shortest time. Honorable Manzo, you are finishing on your point, and there was that question why your party leaders have not been as vocal on this issue as they would have in the past.
First of all, it will not be good to politicize this particular matter. You know, each branch of government is independent. And as I've said, nothing stops the president from reviewing his decision. And again, also, you have had calls of diplomatic channels be employed. The law is very clear. Once these judges are appointed, or even in their current status, they can still be investigated by JSC. So evidence just needs to be presented, and the matter and the law is followed in that particular case. But I've also said that this particular point of law has not been interpreted by the courts themselves, so that the courts gives us an interpretation.
At least 2 court orders that were issued by the High Court indicating that the president has no role to even cherry pick. They were very specific on that.
Well, there's this particular issue of appointment. Then it means the matter should never have been taken to the president at all.
Okay. Honorable Kabando, you had closing remarks on this topic.
You know, it's a simple and clear summing it took. The president's role is ceremonial, you have said that. And it is not true what Manzo is saying, that the president still has an opportunity to review. The constitution is very clear, very specific, and very elaborate. The NIS and the parliament and even the public had opportunity to do what was necessary during the interrogation of these applicants to these positions when they were passed by the Judicial Service Commission. So the fact and the truth is that the president has disobeyed the Constitution, and the president is not superior to the Constitution. This confusion is coming because of the political opportunism around, and therefore people are making statements even when they know the fact and the truth of the law and the Constitution. Manzo has said that, well, this issue has not been addressed. But you know what? There have been various court orders on this matter. It cannot be that these chief justices, former and the incumbent, and all these big minds, and the senior counsels, almost all of the senior counsels in Kenya, you have not had a single senior counsel saying that the president is right. Not a single one. So, if we drop political opportunism, and let us also not say that we don't politicize. The president occupies a political seat. He has political responsibility to adhere to the Constitution and the fidelity to the Constitution, and being true to the constitutional spirit, the letter and spirit, is not a discretion of the president. Okay. President Uhuru Kenyatta is completely wrong on this, and the only option he has, no matter what statements the raiders give, and no matter the ambivalence of other smaller parties, is to appoint these judges. And if he has any issue, he can expose a member of parliament, he can expose those illegitimate Jubilee officials to file a petition with the judiciary for those judges to be reviewed. And in any case, even Maraga, a very strong Christian, I suppose, has said that even the list that was there before has been interfered with. You think they are cheating? In fact, the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, this Sharia house, has become a citadel of cartels and mafias. It has become a center, a tower of Babel. If I was the Attorney General today.
Why do you say that?
I'm saying this because the person who's, you remember, even when you did not agree with Charles Jonjo, our founding Attorney General, when Kenyatta wanted to defend Paul Gay, you know, when Gay was caught up in a mess as a minister, you know what had happened? Jonjo advised the president, Jomo Kenyatta, unless the law is changed, this is the law. We have to stick to it. So they had to go to Parliament to amend some laws, the Constitution, so that the president could now apply the power of clemency or mercy in order to forgive Paul Gay of what he had been caught with, the electoral malpractice and all that. So what I'm saying is this. In this particular scenario, the person who takes the greatest responsibility of irresponsibility, illegality, and unconstitutional and illegality is President Uhuru Kenyatta. The people who occupy the office that actually crafts the processes, the legal instrument for the executive are domiciled at Sharia House. And the fact that they are still flying the flags around the streets of Nairobi when they are actually raping the sovereignty, the sovereign will of the people.
Those are very strong words.
Yes,
I'm still stuck at the point
we must be very strong on this.
There are cartels at the Attorney General's office.
What
does that mean?
Cartels means if you find that the executive is disobeying a court order after a court order, like last week, 2 court orders were issued against the executive because of some illegalities that were done. In fact, the Attorney General has lost over 98% of the cases against civilians and other authorities. If you find an incumbent government is losing billions every day, is losing face every day, it means something is extremely wrong. And it is not lack of intelligence. It is not lack of knowledge. It's not that they are not brilliant. It's just being hostages or captives of mafia politics that we fear so much may precipitate something more serious in this country. Because we are creating...
I wish you had more time to ventilate on notice, and because those are very serious issues
you're raising
about cartels, about mafia politics. I'm just wondering...
We must say this, and we must be very strong in declaring that whatever is happening in this country today, disobeying court orders, manipulating intelligence reports so that you can punish some individuals that you don't like, is impunity and is a rape on the sovereign will of the people of Kenya. And the Constitution is sanctioned, is sacred, passed very, with the popular majority by the people of Kenya in 2010. The fact that as a president and your appointees, you cannot adhere to constitutionalism means that you are absconding your responsibility. You are abdicating your duty.
I need us to make progress so that we can talk about other matters that are affecting the nation, but I have to say that those are very strong views that you raise.
No apologies to make.
Those are the views of
no apologies to make.
Kabando Wakabando.
Absolutely. Shared by many.
Let's move on to areas of politics and talking about what is happening at the mountain. We've seen factions coming out from the area. Let's listen to some leaders that spoke in Meru over the weekend.
Mimi nimesema nimechoka na siasa ya umbwa na paka. If one dog is important when you are hunting, it should also be important when you are eating. Tuachana mambo ya tamaa. Tuwasapoti kibake miaka 10. Na tuwe na nkolo njega sana. Sidio? We have supported Euro for 10. Let us not hear of another candidate ambaye ametoka huko.
Watu ambao walishindwa kura akina Kabogo, sijui Waweru, Waigoro, nimeona Mwangi wa Iria wale wako. My friends, we are not children from a lesser God. We have stood with you people for a very long time. If you find now Muturi does not fit, si kumutusi na kumudharau na nini sababu natudharau sisi sote. Hii haitaendelea tena. Wacha kama ni kupasuka, ipasuke. Watu waende kivyao. Amta tukulia kwa mfuko kama njugu karanga permanently. You can cheat people sometime, you will not cheat all the people all the time.
Na ndio tunaona tuna consult na viongozi tutengeneze chama yetu ya Wameru. Pali hiyo nyati imeanguka, hata sisi tuwe na kisu yetu. Tunajikatia hapo.
Right, those are the leaders from Mount Kenya East, and the reason why they were responding or they were speaking the way they were, on the same day, or was it the day before, there had been a meeting in Nyeri at Lusoi Resort, and some leaders there spoke quite a bit. There there were 7 elected governors out of the 11 counties of that region, and some 2 former governors, one of them CS Peter Munya and William Kabogo, who is a former governor. Listen.
Pamoja ndio tuendelee kuwa kwa serikali. Sisi hatutaenda opposition. Lakini tukiendelea kugawanywa, hiyo ndio direction tunaenda. Kwa hivyo vijana wetu lazima tuwaongeleshe waelewe. Umoja ni nguvu.
And if the numbers that we are told we have are anything to go by, then people have reason to worry because we have huge numbers. And it is these numbers that we want to put together. It is for this reason that we find ourselves here.
Kiongozi hajichagui. Hauwezi kuamka asubuhi, utoke kwako nyumbani, uingie katika msitu, ukae siku 7, utoke nje, useme wewe sasa ndio kiongozi wetu. Mimi sina ubaya na speaker, lakini method yenye ametumia ndio imeleta shida.
And we'll confront the next election united. And that further, we shall reach out to our brothers and sisters so that we can have a complete team and approach the next elections based on our interest as a Mount Kenya region.
Tujipange kabla hatujapangwa. Na ninataka kusema kwamba yeyote ambaye ni kiongozi ambaye angetaka kuelekea kule juu, sisi tutakuwa pamoja naye.
We have encouraged as many people who have political ambitions to express them. Then at the opportune time, we will be able to meet as the mountain and we will make that final decision.
All right, so one mountain, at least 2 voices, because there's another voice that is allied to Deputy President William Ruto and have been championing the agenda of the Hustlers Nation. And Nelson Koech, when you look at this, no single president has won an election without the vote from Mount Kenya since 2002. How important is this, especially when it comes to the bid that Deputy President William Ruto is seeking next year?
In relation to what is happening in the mountain? What is happening in the mountain is panic, so to say. There's a lot of movement. People are trying to probably recreate 58 years after independence. I find it very backward to still want to rally behind tribe to take leadership of the country. And looking at Waiguru speaking there, Governor Waiguru speaking there, I'm also reminded of a few months ago when he took a delegation. I don't know when she mentioned that she was going to support Honorable Right Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Another section had taken Peter Kenneth to Bondo to be endorsed. First of all, he was endorsed as an elder. He went to Bondo with a delegation of elders. He was, I don't know, where is Peter Kenneth, by the way, speaking of which? So, I mean, these are formations that will come out. It is very good for the democracy of the people of Mount Kenya. I just don't like the way that they are bashing my speaker. It is unnecessary because he simply said that he wanted to be a spokesperson. He has not expressed that he will probably want to be actively in politics in the coming years. So I see a lot of panic, which is very, very important. But for me, I think the people of Mount Kenya this time round should not be talking about one of their own. One is that the president who is going to take care of the interests of the people of Mount Kenya is not a president for Mount Kenya. It is going to be a president who wholeheartedly wants to serve the interests of the people of Mount Kenya. The president who is going to revive the coffee sector, the president who is going to revive the tea sector, the president who is going to revive the milk sector, the president who is going to improve on private prices of commodities of the people of central Kenya. They have a president at the moment, but they still have huge, huge problems. You can see, well demonstrated. There's a lot of uproar, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of unsettlement in central Kenya because this is a community of business people. Their businesses have been affected massively, either in Nairobi or in the villages. So, and that is why even when you still have their own in the state, there's a lot of complaint. So for me, Mount Kenya, I appreciate the fact that there's a group that has come up with an economic blueprint from the region and say, listen, it doesn't matter who is going to be our president. This is what we will want, that the president who is going to take over is going to give us this. It does not necessarily have to be a president from Mount Kenya. So for my understanding, all these things are very good. And what I see there, and excuse me if I say that, I see a group of brokers, a group of middlemen, who now are looking
Seven governors? 7 elected governors?
What makes you believe, for instance, that Kimemia today, what he speaks is he speaks on the people, on behalf of the people in Nyandarua, yet he lost an election a few weeks ago into ward, an MCA seat in
He's still the elected governor.
Yes, but I'm saying, look at that. It does not mean that he's as popular as he was. Look, for instance, in Muranga. There are many cases. Well, I see my Lee Kinyanjui, a governor from Rift Valley who's refused to identify with the people of Rift Valley, is now talking in central Kenya. You don't count and say these commemorative people are the ones who are going to speak on behalf of the region. No, these are auctioneers who want to say, okay, who is going to give us the bidding price for this community, and this is the person we want. That is not what central Kenya wants at the moment. If you allow me, let me tell you, Sam. We are in a country where many times we believe that anyone from, someone from your backyard will help you. Before even I joined politics, I was a business person. My success in business is attributed to other communities, not necessarily where I come from. That is the same thing with leadership. Leadership, it does not mean that for you, Makueni, for instance, they voted for NASA, 98%, okay? Siaya, 89%, 93%, sorry, in Makueni. Siaya, 89%, voted for NASA. When Makueni voted for NASA, in fact, Makueni had a minister in last government. Right now, Siaya, which voted 89% to NASA, has 3 ministers. Look at that.
Who are those ministers from Siaya?
You don't know?
You tell me.
I will tell you.
No, you raise the issue. I mean, you need
I do not want to profile. I don't want to profile ministers. But Mahanzo does not have a minister as we are talking. Mailu was removed. He's now an ambassador. I actually vetted him. A very brilliant fellow. So look at that situation. So for the people of Mountain and Kabando, we will tell you, Gregon, we used to have huge businesses from the people of Mount Kenya. Zero. Nothing is happening.
You raise issues with those that met in Nyeri, but there's also a governor in Meru who met with leaders from Meru and saying that this time around you're walking alone. What do you make of that?
I have said it does not necessarily have to be someone from the mountain who will help them. Having a party is very good because that is what they will use now to negotiate with a possible presidential candidate. I don't mind that. And like I've told you, there's a lot of restlessness because of transition. If you found a situation where the President Uhuru Kenyatta nurtured and coalesced, first of all, it's quite telling. It tells you that Uhuru Kenyatta has lost his ground in Mount Kenya, his grip on the people of Mount Kenya.
True.
That is why everyone is speaking everything.
Okay.
There is no order. There seems to be an unrest. Yet the President has said, don't disinherit me when I'm there. Even the people who used to lecture us, we of Tanga, that you want to disinherit the president when he's alive, are now actively in politics disinheriting him. And is that not
Honorable Manzo, what do you make of this for a region that is speaking in 3 different voices so far on record? What do you make of it, if you had to reflect on politics of regions and a region that you also come from, the eastern side?
Yes, first of all, nothing stops any presidential candidate from any part of the country. The country will go with whoever person, irrespective of the tribe, who can serve Kenyans. So nothing now can say there cannot be a presidential candidate from Central Kenya. If you are going to say that Central Kenya had the last 30 or so years of presidency, it is similarly also with Rift Valley. President Moi was in power for 24 years. So you can't really use that. You know, both Rift Valley and Central Kenya have served this country in terms of the presidency for almost equal years, and as long as Kenya has been independent. So now the Kenyans are looking at any Kenyan who can be able to unite Kenyans. And I think the most important thing for Kenyans is unity. Nothing wrong with Mount Kenya East forming a political party. In fact,
just hold on, Honorable Manzo. This conversation about uniting Kenyans, it has been said so many times in the past elections that we've had. What exactly does it mean? Who needs to be united, the politicians or the citizens?
Well, both. Both politicians and citizens have to work together. If you see what has happened in the last 4 years, the handshake has really helped this country in very many ways, because when we are fighting, we are not going to do economic activity. We are going to disrupt the country. A unit of purpose is very important for the country. If you have a president who is able to bring all people to the table, or make every Kenyan do their business and be happy, I think that should be the future of this country. Someone who can unite. If Kabando can unite the country, so be it. And I believe one day Kabando will unite this country. When Kabando is president, nobody will feel denied in one way or another. So if Kabando becomes the next presidential candidate from Central Kenya, why not, for example? So I'll just say it should not be, it must be so and so, it must be so and so. What is happening in Mount Kenya East is good for them. If they have their own political party, and they have formed a political party in the past, and even the late Joe Nyaga, God rest his soul in peace, really rallied Mount Kenya East together. And there's nothing wrong with what Speaker Muturi has done. Speaker Muturi did not say he was now the leader of the Mount Kenya region. Speaker Muturi was only appointed by elders as a spokesman. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't find anything really outrageous about that. He has not declared any candidature. And you can see now the people of Mount Kenya East are saying, no, we are behind our son, Speaker Muturi. So I think what we should do as politicians, we should now remove this selfishness so that we should be able to agree. And any Kenyan who wins the elections fairly surely leads us. And I think what's happening in the mountain is normal in politics. Nothing stops them from the sort of meetings they are doing. I believe something good will come out of it, a good debate eventually. And as I said, as we started this show, in future, there's no single presidential candidate in the current political parties or party leader who will work solely without a coalition of some sort.
Okay.
Yes.
And we'll get back to politics of coalitions later on. But first, Honorable Kabando, because you come from Nyeri County, and that's the region that is appearing to be in an eruption at the moment. For the past 20 or so years, you've all been united behind a presidential candidate, whether it's Moi Kibaki or Uhuru Kenyatta. And Kiretu Murongi there is saying that we are tired of getting used. One Linturi is saying that mstukulie kwa mfuko kama njugu karanga. Is that feeling valid? That there's a way that Mount Kenya West has been utilizing Mount Kenya East to ascend to power, and nothing is ever seen in return?
Thank you, Sammy. There's an issue that perhaps we will need its own session. It's deep, it's complex, and it needs to be unveiled so that people can understand the interests that are dominant now, the history, that is, the truth and facts of the regional politics. Let me say the following. One, I don't agree that it is okay for the Speaker of the National Assembly to be hoisted as a regional or ethnic spokesman. In fact, we are lowering the bar on our constitutional, limits. The Speaker of the National Assembly is third in ranking after the President, the Deputy President. The third person is the position is of the Speaker of the National Assembly. If today the President was absent and the Deputy was absent, the person who will take charge of the country today is a holder of the seat of the Speaker of the National Assembly. So when you go to an ethnic conclave, what are you telling the Drumas? What are you telling the Turkanas, the Saburus? What would the Luos and the people living at the border with Uganda in Busia take you for? The Speaker of the National Assembly is the one who hosts the State of the Address when the President goes to the House to speak, and every year, as per the law, it is the Speaker of the National Assembly. The Speaker of the Senate is, the fourth in terms of the ceremony. So when the President is speaking for the nation, the only person who can give him a platform is the Speaker of the National Assembly. It is the Speaker of the National Assembly who also gives the process that ratifies, after vetting, the appointees who sit in the cabinet. And therefore, I think it is not just for Speaker J.B. Mutuli to be an ethnic spokesman, to be reduced into a Mount Kenya East, that is 3 counties, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, and Meru. He's a very senior person, and he is also very knowledgeable. But unfortunately, he has fallen short of that now calling of national positioning and guidance. And he is now being exploited, I'll tell you again, by political cartels. We know them in town. This Nairobi is very small. These mercenaries. You know, all those meetings. How much money do you think was spent in that meeting? Do you think the money just came from Muturi's pocket? Do you think those delegates were not ferried there? And again, to even go against the nation, you know, the values of a community, the shrine of Mukuru Nyagadanga is really a sacred place. I don't think it should be subjected. We also look, whatever. Let me go to the other issue.
You to also speak about the 7 governors and 2 former elected governors met in Nyeri, came up with a resolution about unity. What does that mean for the region?
Let me come to that, and let me come to the east. To the meeting in Nyeri, I want to declare my interest because I was involved in organizing. So all the people who have spoken here, my governor, Mwalimu Kahiga, Governor Kabogo, you know, Governor Igoro, I have spoken to them in the last... So
you associate with that plan?
In terms of organizing and for the meeting, but I disagree with the message. So I did not attend.
Brilliant.
What?
It is illegitimate and is quite in order, Sami, for people of any part of the country, as Mheshimiwa Manzo has said, rightly so, to meet. The Constitution even encourages our cultures, even to promote regions. That will, even in devolution, we talk about economic blocks and all that. It's a legitimate issue. And in fact, when you're auditing the Constitution, in the committee that was led by Mutamusimi in the last parliament, we said that regions should come together in those clusters, and they have done that so that they can synergize their work. So, but the message that was given in Nyeri is completely out of order. Because,
Honorable Kabando, let me take a short break so that you can come back and conclude on that. You're still watching Daybreak on this 14th day of June 2021. We're back in a moment to continue with this conversation.